ẹ bá mi pè é o. àfíjù kí lorúkọ rẹ̀. àfíjù rédíò. àfíjù gbogbo èèyàn ló ń gbọ́. àfíjù gbogbo èèyàn ló ń gbọ́. àfíjù lórí WhatsApp. àfíjù Instagram. àfíjù Facebook. àfíjù lórí X. àfíjù lórí YouTube. àfíjù lórí TikTok. àfíjù kí lorúkọ rẹ̀. àfíjù ẹ bá mi pè é o. àfíjù rédíò. àfíjù gbogbo èèyàn ló ń gbọ́. 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 àfíjù rédíò. àfíjù rédíò. àfíjù rédíò. àfíjù.
Life no get duplicate.
Na so ẹ̀mí ò láàárọ̀ o.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni.
Tẹ́ jẹ́jẹ́ o.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni o. Make you take am easy.
Na so o.
Radio Afinju says if you drink, don't drive. If you drive, don't drink.
Tẹ́ jẹ́jẹ́ o.
Make you take am easy.
Na so.
This awareness is brought to you by Radio Afinju.
Stay informed with news on Radio Afinju.
The time is 3 minutes past 7 and you're welcome to newspaper headlines on Radio Afinju, where we bring you the stories making the waves in our national dailies to your hearings. My name is Tolulope Awoyale, and if you're here to follow us on our social media platforms, kindly go to Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, X, all at Radio Afinju. Also on our website, you can listen to us there at www.afinjufm.com. You can also download the Zeno app on your Play Store or on your Apple Store and listen to us crystal clear from the comfort of wherever you are. So this morning I have the Sunday Punch with me. I have the Nation newspaper and also the Sunday Tribune newspaper with me. So now I'll just bring us the headlines that are on the front pages of this newspaper, and then we'll go into the story in full. Now from the Sunday Punch, and the banner headline here reads 4,000 CNG trunks. Tanker drivers panics as Dangote and marketers tighten distributions deal. The rider under it says NATO and NOGACSA plan emergency meeting over looming job losses. Another rider under it says Petroran tags deal Greek gift warns against monopoly, and that is on the page 3 of the Sunday Punch newspaper. And now moving on to the left corner of the Sunday Punch, federal government and states delay 130,000 forest guard recruitment amid rising killings, and that is on the page 3 of the Sunday Punch newspaper. And also another headline here says Nigerians will appreciate Buhari more now in death, ex-SSA Bashir says. That is on the page 8 of the Sunday Punch. Another headline says ex-president served himself, not Nigeria, Showore says. Another headline here says presidency and opposition in war of words over Buhari's burial. Another headline, local government autonomy unrealistic, says Fashola. And that is on the page 5 of the Sunday Punch. And then another headline here says Nigeria's public debt may hit 160 trillion naira by December, report says. And now at the bottom of the Sunday Punch newspaper, Nigeria's export $1.34 billion crude oil to United States in 5 months. And that is on the page 4 of the Sunday Punch newspaper. And moving on still on the Punch newspaper, momentum of waste, 41 billion naira Akwa Ibom specialist with hospital with routine facilities. That is on the page 16 and 17 of the Sunday Punch. And then the last headline on the Sunday Punch this morning is how abductors raped and murdered my 19-year-old daughter, cleric says. And that is on the page 18 of the Sunday Punch newspaper for this morning. Now moving on to the Nation newspaper. The banner headline here reads, EFCC probing 18 sitting governors, says Olukoyede. The rider under it says, how ex-governor caused spraying pound sterling at London party. And then on the top corner of the Nation newspaper this morning, presidency, ADC exploiting Buhari's death for relevance. The rider under it says party dancing on late president's grave. That is on the page 5 of the Nation newspaper this morning. And also on the Nation this morning, Osun State, no cause for alarm over Adeleke's rumored defection to APC, Oyebamiji says. The rider under it says Senator Fadeyi and Fadausi dumps PDP. That is on the page 10 of the Nation newspaper. Still on the Nation newspaper, prime suspect in murder of varsity students develops strange illness and dies in hospital. The rider under it says AAUA student demands its corpse. That is on the page 2 of the Nation newspaper. Awoyale and Ifa Council set for legal showdown with Ogun Adetona's family. That is on the page 2 of the Nation newspaper. And the last headline I'll be picking on the Nation newspaper this morning says FAAC pays out IS monthly allowance of 1.8 trillion naira, and that is on the page 10 of the Nation newspaper. And to the last newspaper I'll be picking this morning, which is the Sunday Tribune. The banner headline here reads APC NEC presidency in dilemma over Ganduje's successor. That is on the page 4, and the rider under it says governors divided over NWC. Another rider says Senator Al Makura and Darie Gemade are contenders. Humanitarian Affairs Minister Yiwatda may join race. Former Nasarawa governor may lose out to religious consideration. Still on the Sunday Tribune, tension mounts in Oyo APC over selection of delegates for primary. That is on the page 7 of the Sunday Tribune. Now to still on the Sunday Tribune. Adeleke relaxes curfew and commends affected traditional rulers. That is on the page 5 of the Sunday Tribune. Southwest SDP distances self from coalition. That's on the page 26. Prime suspect in murder of AAUA student dies in police custody. That's on the page 5. And also global fatality rates declining and IMF warns future consequences. That is on the page 9 and page 10 of the Sunday Tribune. Still on Sunday Tribune, 2 Osun senators and ex-spokesman in Ekiti quits PDP. That's on the page 4. And then the last headline this morning on the Sunday Tribune says Constitution Review, Sanwo-Olu demands special status for Lagos. The rider under it says Ibadan leaders renew call for own state. Community in Ondo demands for new state police matter of urgent and national priority. Abia governor. Imo government advocates rotational president. That's on the page 2 and page 7 of the Sunday Tribune. And that is the headlines making the front pages of the newspaper this morning. We'll go on a short break now, and then when we come back, we'll go into the full story. And don't leave us. Stay with us. We'll be right back. You're welcome back, and this is still newspaper headlines on Radio Affinjon. We're still bringing you the news making the waves in our national dailies to your hearings. And I am moving on to the Punch newspaper and picking the first story here that says 4,000 CNG trunks, tanker drivers panic as Dangote and marketers tighten distribution deal. The story says less than 30 days to the commencement of the highly anticipated rollout of 4,000 compressed natural gas trucks by the Dangote Refinery and Petroleum Limited. Industry stakeholders have signaled an alignment with the refinery's plan to begin direct fuel distribution to marketers and critical sectors of the economy from August 15th, our correspondent reports. Checks revealed that as of Friday, no fewer than 25 marketers has signed up with Dangote Refinery for the direct fuel distribution deal. The figure rose from an initial 3, signaling increasing alignment between an indigenous refinery and oil marketers. However, the development is fueling concerns among tanker drivers who fear massive job loss when Dangote begins to direct supply of premium motor spirits to oil marketers. The refinery had last month announced its intention to supply PMS and diesel directly to petroleum marketers, retail dealers, manufacturers, as well as major players in the telecommunication and aviation industries, a move seen as a major disruption to Nigeria's traditional fuel supply chain. In what appears to be the growing market confidence of the refinery logistics scheme, the number of strategic partners collaborating with Dangote for the fuel distribution initiative has now surged from 3 to 25, and officials have confirmed. A senior executive at Dangote Group who spoke on Friday with our correspondent on the condition of anonymity said marketers are registering ahead of the August launch, with the refinery preparing to move products nationwide using its fleet of 4,000 trucks. The news is well detailed this morning on the Punch newspaper. Says 4,000 CNG trunks, tanker drivers panic as Dangote and marketers tighten distribution deal. Now moving on, still on the Sunday Punch, I'm picking this other story that says federal government and state delays 130,000 forest guard recruitment amid rising killings. The story reads, the renewed National Forest Policing Initiative launched by the federal government in May is receiving a slow response from several states, our correspondent investigation has revealed. This comes despite a surge in deadly attack by terrorists, bandits and Fulani militias, which have claimed hundreds of lives across the country in the past 2 months. President Bola Tinubu approved the establishment of the National Forest Guard system on May 15 as part of efforts to tackle the worsening insecurity across Nigeria. According to a statement released by the Special Advisor to the President on Media and Public Communication, the President made an announcement during an expanded Federal Executive Council meeting. He mandated each state to recruit between 2,000 and 5,000 forest guard based on their capacity. A rough estimate of about 3,500 recruits per state would result into the recruitment at least 130,000 forest guard across the state and the Federal Capital Territory. Findings by a correspondent show that prior to Tinubu's announcement in May, at least 11 states already had operationalized forest guards, also known as forest ranger or forest security, but are yet to arm and upskill them for national and security effort. That is well detailed on the Punch newspaper this morning. Also says federal government and state delays 130 forest guards recruitment amid rising killings. Well, I'm still on the Sunday Punch. I'm picking this other story here that says presidency and opposition in war of words over Buhari's burial. And the story says the presidency has fired back at the African Democratic Congress over its allegation that President Bola Tinubu was exploiting the death of former President Muhammadu Buhari for political gains. This is even as the ADC described the appointment of Mohammed Babangida, the son of the former military leader Ibrahim Babangida, as others says desperate and cynical attempt to buy back the trust that they have spent over a year squandering, particularly in northern Nigeria. The ADC had earlier criticized Tinubu's actions since Buhari's death, describing it as a stage-managed attempt to gain sympathy, particularly in the north where the former president maintains significant influence. In response, the special advisor to the president on media and public communication, Sunday Dare, in a statement said the ADC criticism was a laughable tantrum by a poorly amalgamated political contraption desperately daunting to straws for relevance that it will never attain. He said this is not the first time ADC, in its pitiful stuttering attempt to reinvention, has embarrassed itself with hollow, attention-seeking criticism and press releases. A party still grappling with an identity crisis presumes to lecture the President of the Federal Republic on governance, decorum, and public accountability. How utterly ridiculous. Let it be said clearly that the ADC is not the one exploiting Buhari's death for political attention and not this government. From Atiku and El-Rufai's choreographed arrival in Daura, greeted with chants seeking to make political capital from the solemnity of the moment, to this disgraceful press statement, the ADC has shown itself to be utterly shameless. Dare said while the ADC is issuing venomous press releases, Tinubu was delivering real results. The news is well detailed on the Punch newspaper this morning. It says presidency and opposition in war of word over Buhari's burial. And now the last story I'll be picking on the Sunday Punch this morning says Buhari served himself, North Nigeria, Shuure says. The political activist Awoyale Shuure speaks on the claim that the late former President Muhammadu Buhari left behind a legacy of integrity. He said absolutely not. The myth of Buhari's integrity was one of the most dangerous propaganda projects ever sold to the people. For decades, a carefully curated image of a disciplined, incorruptible soldier statesman was peddled, especially to justify his return to power in 2015. But the reality is that as Nigerians experienced it, was entirely different. Buhari didn't just fail the integrity test, he shattered it. Under his watch, corruption was not only tolerated, but it was made a thing. Individuals under investigation or with the established records of theft and abuse of office found refuge within his cabinet. His government protected some of the most corrupt figures in the Nigerian history, and Buhari's so-called integrity never translated into accountability, transparency, or moral leadership. Buhari ruled with a combination of detachment, arrogance, and an iron hand and incompetence. He was never really present physically or mentally for the job. When he wasn't abroad receiving medical treatment on public funds, he was absent from decision-making that affected millions. His regime was marked by economic collapse, growing insecurity, rising debt, and unprecedented suffering. His idea of governance was nepotism, placing unqualified loyalists in key positions based on ethnic and religious identity. The result was paralysis across all sectors. Buhari ruled as if the nation were a military barrack, not democracy. He failed to modernize Nigerian institutions and was unable to secure life and failed to provide any economic direction. The people bore out of his cluelessness. The story is well detailed also on the Punch newspaper this morning. It says Buhari served himself, not Nigeria, Shuure says. And that is all that I'll be picking on the Punch newspaper this morning. Now I'm moving on to the Nation newspaper, and my first story picking here it says Fashola suspected it is unrealistic for local governments to be autonomous. Former Minister of Works announcing Babatunde Fashola has said it is unrealistic to be expecting autonomy from local governments because they are not created to be autonomous. The former Lagos State governor made the remark yesterday in an interview with the channel's television. According to him, that is my view after a very, very close reading of certain provision of the Constitution. Some of these provisions provide, for example, the local government in its economic activities and all of that have made laws for the State House of Assembly. If you look at the legal and ordinary meaning of the word autonomy, it suggests that you are acting independently without any outside authority, and to that extent, a State House of Assembly making laws for what and how a local government can function is in itself an external influence that contradicts the idea of autonomy. Fashola also argued that by virtue of the state owning its land, it is impossible for local government to carry out key functions without acknowledging state control. The next thing, of course, is to look at the fourth schedule of the Constitution and look at all of the responsibilities that are assigned to local government, such as operating of slaughterhouses, cemeteries, building of roads, advertising, primary schools, primary healthcare centers, and all of those responsibilities are dependent on them, one item, which is the land. And to the extent that the state government controls land, which affects how the local government will carry out these functions, I didn't think that autonomy was intended. Now, if we decide what we want autonomy local government, those are some of the things we have to free up. Is that our decision? He noted that before the 1999 local government received payments directly from the Federation account. However, the former minister said officials neglected their duties, leaving backlog of unpaid salaries for governors like him at the same time. He said, I don't think that autonomy was intended. What I think was intended was some of the part of collaboration, some sort of supervision, and some sort of oversight on the state and local government. And it is inherent what you find in section 162, which deals with the state joint local government account, and there is no history behind the enactment of that section. The story is well detailed on the Nation newspaper this morning. It says, Fashola, it is unrealistic for local government to be autonomous. Now, I'm also moving to another story still on the Nation newspaper. EFCC probing 18 sitting governors, says Olukoyede. Half of the current 36 state governors, 18 are being investigated by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC), according to the Anti-Graft Agency chairman Ola Olukoyede. Those found wanting will face the law at the end of their tenure, he said. Olukoyede spoke during a sensitization program for movie producers, musicians, and bureau de change operators in Lagos on Friday. The program was meant to educate the participants on the use of naira mutilation and abuse. As I was talking to you, I am investigating about 18 governors who are still serving, and when they leave the office, we will go to the next level, he said. He, however, did not mention the name of the governors being probed or give further details of the investigation. Speaking on naira abuse and mutilation, he recalled that a case of a former governor who was arrested in the United Kingdom for spraying pounds on his own birthday party. The manager of the hotel hosting the birthday party, Olukoyede said, had called in the authorities after seeing the ex-governor spraying dollars and bills. The suspect, he added, was already under the EFCC investigation while in the office, but fled the country just before the expiration of his tenure to avoid arrest. This governor was investigated while he was in office. Immediately he finished his tenure the following day, and he took off to England to avoid being arrested by the EFCC. Coincidentally, the week happened to be his birthday. He organized a birthday in the hotel he was staying. While the party was going on, he sprayed pounds. So the manager of the hotel was called. He came down and saw the former governor spraying pounds. And when the Metropolitan Police came, he asked that they should help him arrest the former governor. And the ex-governor was arrested, and they wanted to put him in an ambulance. The news is well detailed on the Nation newspaper this morning. Says EFCC probing 18 sitting governors, says Olukoyede. Now I'll be picking this last story before we go on a short break now. Says prime suspect in murder of varsity student develops strange illness and dies in hospital. Grieving student of the Adekule Ajasin Akungba Koko AAUA Ondo State yesterday demanded the corpse of the prime suspect Femi Oladele, who allegedly orchestrated the murder of 2 missing colleagues. Their demand followed confirmation by the State Police Command of the reported death of Oladele in a hospital after falling sick on Friday. Sources who spoke with our correspondent yesterday revealed that the prime suspect suddenly developed a strange illness after allegedly making a confessional statement about the brutal killing of the 2 students and their burial in a shallow grave. One of the sources who pleaded anonymity told our reporter that the suspect, arrested alongside 2 other accomplices in the murder case, was rushed to the hospital where he gave up the ghost. Oladele is dead and he gave up the ghost yesterday after he made some confessions to the police over the killing of the 2 Akungba students. I learned that he had fallen sick shortly while he was arrested, he said. The police public relations officer in the state, Olayinka Ayonlade, confirmed the death of the suspect when he contacted on the phone, saying he was taken to the hospital where he gave up the ghost. Ayonlade, the deputy superintendent of the police, said the suspect, who allegedly orchestrated the brutal murder of the student, was also doubled as a tenant and he had been in and out of the hospital before he died. And as of now, the decomposing of remains of the Oka have been recovered while efforts are ongoing to locate Abba's body. The police spokesman explained that 2 additional suspects identified as one caller and Michael, who allegedly withdrew the sum of 800,000 naira from the late Abba's account, had been arrested and was in custody, fully cooperating with investigation. The news is also well detailed on the Nation newspaper this morning. It says, prime suspect in murder of varsity student develops strange illness in hospital. Now we'll be going on a short break, and then when we come back, we'll continue from where we stopped. Don't go anywhere, we'll be right back.
From the creation story in Genesis to the promises of Revelation, the Bible is filled with stories that have inspired moments and transformed lives in so many ways. Discover how these ancient accounts still speak to us in this modern world. Let's explore the Bible together and uncover the treasures within.
So join me, Pearl Durotoye, as I delve into the rich tapestry of Bible stories
Every Sunday,
5 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. on Radio Afinju. God is love.
From the creation story in Genesis to the promises of Revelation, the Bible is filled with stories that have inspired.
Here on Doc on Radio, we are shining a light on why your well-being should always come first. From everyday health tips to deep medical insight, from nutrition to fitness, from top doctors to latest medical research, we've got it all. Bringing you expert advice, answering your burning questions, and helping you live a healthier and happier life. How cool is that? Join Pearl Durotoye every Monday, 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. only on Radio Afinju for Doc on Radio. Watch us live and follow Radio Afinju on Facebook and YouTube so you don't miss out. Because your health matters and great health is something you deserve.
Our help is in the name of the Lord. Our help is in the name of the Lord. For the Lord our God is mighty. I will praise you in the sanctuary.
Your Sunday experience just got better with elevating gospel gems and gist that will put you in the right atmosphere.
Them say the blessing where you do, Ojo. Them say salvation where you do, Ojo. We are victorious. We are victorious.
Searching for where to get news about your favorite gospel icon or know what's trending in a Christendom? Gospel and Vibes is your every Sunday tonic, packed with two amazing segments. The Ultimate Sunday Blessings, where you listen to beautiful gospel gems, guaranteed to get you praising the Almighty. You also get to listen to the latest gospel and church gist, keeping you updated about what's trending in the gospel scene. Listen to the scripture through God's servants with inspiring messages to uplift and empower you. Join Bukola Karim, The Books, and Tolulope Awoyale, Tiana, every Sunday from 2:30 p.m. to 4 p.m. for Gospel and Vibes for an unforgettable experience that will leave you feeling uplifted, inspired, and connected to your faith. So get ready to elevate your spirit and ignite your soul.
Authentic
When heavy rain begin fall and plenty water full everywhere, dey alert my people, shine your eyes as e dey happen for other places e fit reach your side.
Má ṣe da ìdọ̀tí sójú àgbàrá, gbé ilẹ̀ rẹ fún àwọn ọkọ̀ akólẹ̀.
No go put yourself for danger dey waka for flooded roads.
Gbọ́ o, ǹjẹ́ tó bá rí ẹnikẹ́ni tó hùwà tó lòdì sí òfin àmójútó ìdọ̀tí àti ẹ̀gbin, ẹ fi tó àwọn aláṣẹ létí. Report to the nearest authorities.
Má ṣe da ìdọ̀tí sójú àgbàrá.
Ìlera lọ́rọ̀. This awareness is brought to you by Radio Afinju.
You're welcome back, and this is still newspaper headlines on Radio Afinju. If you're yet to follow us on our social media platforms, kindly go to Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, X, all at Radio Afinju. And now I'm still bringing you the news making the waves in our national dailies to your hearings. So now I'm moving on to the Nigerian Tribune, and the first story I'm picking on here says APC and NEC presidency in dilemma over Ganduje's successor. Ahead of Thursday meeting of the National Executive Committee of the All Progressive Congress NEC, the presidency appears to be in a quandary over the likely successor to Abdullahi Ganduje, who resigned from the position recently. Multiple sources revealed to a correspondent that the much talented anointed choice, Senator Tanko Maruka, may lose out to religious considerations. Checks reveal that the NEC may on Thursday only ratify Deputy National Chairman North Bukar Dalori's appointment as the national chairman in acting capacity, while it shops for a substantive chairman ahead of the special convention to be held in December. The new chairman will come from the North Central region that has been agitating that the zoning arrangement in the ruling party must be respected. The choice of the former Nasarawa state governor to pacify the estranged Congress for the Progressive Change CPC bloc has suffered since a setback. Investigation within the Buhari House at the party national secretariat revealed that certain stakeholders are impressing it on the presidency to seek a Christian to replace in order to stave off the discontent that has trailed the margins of the former Kano state governor Ganduje. Checks revealed that the presidency was accused of hosting another Muslim as national chairman in August 2023 in spite of the public outcry that trailed its single faith in ticket of Tinubu's and Shetima's last general elections. Apart from the senator, other aspirants from the North Central region include former Plateau State Governor Senator Joshua Dariye and former national chairman of the erstwhile ruling party, the People's Democratic Party (PDP), Chief Barnabas Gimadi. Gimadi from Benue State was cited by our correspondent reporter at the party national secretariat last week, where he met the stakeholders. A party source, however, told our correspondent that Darius' conviction for alleged financial sleaze, although now given a clean bill of health, could count against his choice. And the news is well detailed on the Sunday Tribune this morning. Says APC and NEC presidency in Dalima over Ganduje's successor. Moving on, and still on the Nigerian Tribune, tension mounts in Oyo APC over selection of delegates for primaries. With less than 24 hours to the conduct of the by-election to fill in the vacant seat of Ibadan North Federal Constituency, members of the All Progressives Congress has expressed doubts of the free and fair, credible election as promised by the leadership of the party. Aggrieved members disclosed the plan of a chieftain to the party to hijack the process. This development has caused a sharp division among the membership of the party in the state. Meanwhile, the forum of the APC apex leader in Ibadan North local government area has met to review the developments relating to the forthcoming party by-election, most especially the activities of Delegates Congress Committee, which was constituted by the national headquarters of the party to conduct the primaries of the House of Representatives ticket. The leadership in a communique issued at the end of their meeting rejected by any anti-democratic practices. The communique read in part, the apex leader firmly rejects any anti-democratic practices or tendencies that may undermine the credibility of the primaries or jeopardize the collective effort of party members at ensuring victory at the forthcoming inter-party by-elections. The meeting in session reiterated the urgent need of conduct of a free, transparent and fair primaries, the one that reflects true wishes of the party members and ends all acceptance of the stakeholders therein. The meeting in session appealed to the all party members to remain calm and exercise restraint in all fronts, no matter the level of seeming provocation or annoyance. The apex leader enjoined all the party members to continue working for the party's success in the forthcoming inter-party by-elections. The news is well detailed on the Sunday Tribune this morning. Says tension mounts in Oyo APC over selection of delegates for primaries. Now, still moving on the Nigerian Tribune, Osun communal crisis. Governor Adeleke relaxes curfew as normalcy returns to warring towns. Osun State Governor Ademola Adeleke has relaxed the curfew imposed on Ifon, Ilobu and Eriosun communities following the return of peace in the warring towns. The State Commissioner for Information and Public Enlightenment, Honorable Kolakpo Alimi, who made this known in a statement in Osogbo, stated that the curfew, which though will still be in force until total peace is attained, has been relaxed by the governor from 12 midnight till 4 a.m. of the following day, with effect from today, Saturday night, we take effect from the 19th of July 2025. Following the return of peace in the warring communities of Ifon, Ilobu and Eriosun, it gladdens my heart as the Chief Security Officer of Osun State direct to the Herito 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. curfew will now be between 12 midnight to 4 a.m. of the following day, which will take effect from the 19th of July 2025. Let me seize this opportunity to appreciate Olufon, Olobu and Elerin with other stakeholders for their effort in bringing the lasting peace in the three communities. I urge that you should all keep peace up. Finally, I'm using this medium to urge the 100-man boundary resolution committee of Ifon, Ilobu, Erin to expedite actions on the boundaries resolution among the three communities. The news is also well detailed on the Nigerian Tribune this morning. Says Osun communal crisis. Governor Adeleke relaxes curfew as normalcy returns to warring towns. And now to the last story I'll be picking this morning on the Nigerian Tribune. Says 2 senators dump PDP in Osun State, keep mum on the next move. Senator Olubi Fadeyi and Francis Fadaunsi have resigned their membership of the People's Democratic Party (PDP), citing irreconcilable differences and lingering internal crisis with the party, but have remained silent on their next political destinations. Fadeyi, who represented Osun Central in the National Assembly, announced his resignation in a letter dated July 12, 2025, addressed to the PDP Ward 3, Oke Ejigbo, Ilarogun, Osun State. The letter partly read, "I wish to formally notify that I am resigning my membership of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) with immediate effect. Irreconcilable differences and irreparable division have been emerged, and the court cases and counter-court cases in the last 3 years have created factions in the party at the national level. This was concluded after the consultation and engagement with my political associates, families, and friends." Similarly, Fadaunsi, the senator representing Osun East, tendered his resignation in a letter dated June 12, 2025, which surfaced on social media on July 19, 2025. Fadaunsi, a two-term lawmaker, also cited persistent party crisis and protracted legal disputes as basis of his decision. The letter he addressed to the PDP Ward 4 chairman read partly, "I wish to formally notify that I am resigning my membership of the People's Democratic Party with immediate effect due to the irreparable and irreconcilable differences and protracted legal battles that have bedeviled the party at the national level after the 2023 general elections. This was concluded after a consultation and engagement with my political associates, families, and friends." However, both senators are yet to disclose their next political destination. And that is the news on the Nigerian Tribune, which says 2 senators dump PDP in Osun State and keep mum on their next move. And that is all that I will be bringing to your hearings this morning. Thank you very much for joining Newspaper Headlines. Till I come your way again next week, Sunday, for Newspaper Headlines. Do not forget to join me again. If you're yet to follow us on our social media platforms, kindly go to Facebook, Instagram, YouTube,